Hello, lovelies. Feels like it's been a while. It's Chrissy here. Good to see you again. Welcome to another week of madness. I think we're redefining madness. That seems to be what's happening in my world. Yeah, it feels like at the moment there are two diametrically opposing strong energies in the system. And if I didn't know better, I might say that feels like actually a separation of what's leaving and a coming in of the new paradigms. After the butterfly video, that kind of started a, 4 or 5 day process, which came to its crescendo on the new moon on Friday, which was a bit of a Black Friday, but it was different, very, very different, and it kind of echoes today's reading. So what got pulled through the system on Friday felt, oh God, it was dark. It was really dark, heavy, dark, toxic, violent, rage, old, very old. and I had a choice. So after the butterfly video and the cards, the Be Bold and Brave was still kind of, it was echoing, and 3 cards fell out for me, which I won't share here. So it was kind of prepping me for what was to come. And so I wanted to bring something different to what was going to be a deep process. So I'm still stepping up and willing to do the work and to transmute whatever shadow is coming through the system. That's cool. I just don't want to get lost in it. And without thinking, naturally and spontaneously went into this huge creative process, which involved singing and dancing and crying and shouting. I cooked an absolute feast with flavors I've never experienced. So it was just pure alchemy. I've never put these flavors together, but it was, oh my God, it's stunning. I baked bread. And then I was blessed with my peers and a gathering that afternoon. So facilitation took place and grounding took place and healing took place. But what happened was, it was like I was bringing these diametrically opposing energies, joy and creativity and freedom, expansion, all that standing upness, and the sucking downness and the heaviness of this rage that was going through my system. And just put them both in a bloody room and said, sort it out, sort it out. So they kind of danced together, and it really ameliorated the peaks and the troughs of these energies that were coming into the room together. And that for me is kind of stepping into a new kind of flux state with something quite dark that got pulled through the system. And has affected people that I know. Some have nearly had car accidents. One of my closest friends came off her bike on a roundabout. I stumbled into a pothole, turned my ankle, which I didn't think was anything at the time. It was just, oh, you idiot, pay attention. And the next day woke up with a big bruise on my ankle. So clearly it was worse than I thought. Or maybe that's timeline related, whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. But there's this kind of mindlessness in the system at the moment that's taking us in a direction we might not want to go in. And that might show up as, well, it's Uranus, isn't it? Anything can happen. The maverick, the revolutionary, okay. The what the fudge, okay. So that's coming into the system, and that feels very different, very, very different. So there's a real opportunity here to make your choice. Again, if you go back to a video I made a while ago, I think it was, I don't know, June, July, near the turning point. And I think it's called What Are My T's and C's? So this is about what are my terms and conditions. And terms and conditions help our inner confidence to germinate and blossom. And it's when we go for what we want, and when we clearly state what we don't want. And that's the paradigm that's being shifted at the moment, because so 2020, we've been breaking down the people pleaser, the codependency, the judgment and criticism of competition, the might is right, the wrong and the right, all of that duality, and finding the polarity and bringing the opposite poles. So what I'm talking about at the moment is this dark rage that got pulled through the system on Friday, and the option to bring in a joyous, abundant, creative space to meet that. So in that, my terms were, I'm not going to get lost in this. I know it's going to hurt. And so it was kind of trying to minimize any potential for damage, and that's going to accelerate. Okay, Mars, Uranus. The elections are coming up in America, and I can't help feel that's going to be a thing. So yeah, there are no coincidences here. Trust what you see, trust what you feel. We're being driven further and further and further in to meet the soul, to drop into the seat of the soul, because only the soul and the heart together can build the new paradigms, you know, really build the strong structures for those. So yeah, the only damage I did, I damaged a pan, one of my favorite stock pans, and I dropped it. I'm surprised it didn't fall through the floor actually, or break my toe, but it's now this perfect circle with this straight bit on the edge. It's cool. It's cool. My energy was recalibrating. So I'm going to move to the cards, but basically today is about, we've got big energies in, and so it's like the breakaway is happening, and you can keep jumping between these vibrations of abundant creativity or the addiction of darkness, because it can become an addiction. I was reading about this recently, and the chemicals and hormones associated with addiction. Now we've got a choice. So, you know, we can choose. You can absolutely choose. Oh, but I can't. Notice if that's the first narrative that comes in. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of people reach their numb spot, the void, where the child completely shut down. That's really powerful. That's happening quickly. Okay. In that space of frozenness, you got a choice to remain frozen and build your world around that, or to lean into something maverick. Be bold and brave. That's what the butterfly tells us. Be bold and brave, or courageous. Doesn't matter. Same meaning. Be bold and brave. Ride the back of Uranus. It'll take you into new grounds. So here we have 2 sets of 3 cards, and it looks like they're reflecting the choice. So So the first one is being with discomfort. How do you be with discomfort in a different way? At times of discomfort, I courageously seek my soul essence, which is clear, pure, luminous. Would you associate this face with the field of discomfort, or would you expect it to look something different? That's the first challenge. If you can be with the potentiality of looking as calm as this, being as calm as this in the face of discomfort, kudos. That's where you bring your creativity and your choice. That's where you're bold enough to make your own choice. I don't want to bring, insert words here, to discomfort. I don't want to get frustrated with it anymore. I don't want it to control me and limit me anymore. I don't want it to push me back into that frozen state anymore. I want to find a new healthy way of being with it. Okay, being with discomfort. And, you know, as I was saying, the energy is going to ramp for the rest of the year, as we're already in the 5 energy. We're in the 5 energy, which is the energy of change. And kind of, it was kind of mirrored when I was in the kitchen on Friday, making a mess and having a ball, in the alchemy that got created. Because the 5 represents lots of things, but traditionally it's earth, air, fire, water, ether. So it's this primary ingredients, and how differently can I mix those? Can I vary the quantities of each and come up with something new? So the next time you hit a field of discomfort, and that might feel like anger or frustration, disappointment, take a moment, pause and understand something different. Forgetting how to spell. Pause and understand something else. Pause. How am I being with this? Okay, bring it right to the front of the mind, out of the ether, right at the front of the mind. Oh, I'm in discomfort. Total presencing. Okay, I'm in discomfort. How am I being with this? Well, I'm being pissy, actually. Yeah, I can see I'm being pissy. Or, well, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. I might do some journaling. Take a different approach. Okay. Because what's getting examined is the power of self-talk. When my self-talk is kinder, I am empowered in my capacity to pursue my dreams and believe in myself. This actually reminds me of a friend of mine, Lisa, if you're watching. Do you not think this looks like you? And we can catch ourselves in that moment where the subconscious goes to the automatic program of, oh, for God's sake, I don't want this. I hate you. It's your fault. I can change that because you're the narrator, you're the architect, the writer, director, producer of this play that you've created. So be bold and courageous and take control. Take control. What do you want? What does your heart want? That was the question, wasn't it? Where the butterfly came back to life. What does your heart want? It came in at 19 minutes. 19:10:1 is the death and rebirth. Butterfly's transformation. And honestly, if that wasn't confirmation that this walk through gateway was opening up, I don't know what is. I really don't. So write down your self-talk. Be really honest. If your self-talk is nasty and horrible, get it out of you and see it on paper. And then reprogram it, reframe it, and inject love and compassion. As if you were parenting yourself. Yeah, as the best parent to yourself. that you can be. We might not be able to draw best experiences from parents, but we certainly know in our heart and in our mind, in our heart and in our mind, what a great parent feels like. We certainly know that. And so, yeah, we've got the being with discomfort is affected by the power of self-talk and is also affected by appreciation. So here we have it, self-talk and the appreciation, that's bringing the light in. Appreciating the good that exists in my here and now, because we forget that, don't we? You know, when life's going to rack and ruin, apparently, it very often isn't. It's just the feelings that cloud the facts. So when you audit the facts of actually, this is great, this is good, I've got this, I made that, people love me, then that becomes your outgoing broadcast. And so what do you think comes back to you? So yeah, let me show you this card. And 25 reduces to 7. Feels very here and now, actually. And that's kind of bringing the new to the old, in simple terms. That's bringing the new energy, any new energy that isn't the same as you've always done it and it's got you nowhere. Okay. Bringing that to break down the structure of what you think you know. Because we only ever think we know it. We don't really. It's just the narrative we build to fulfill the kind of life that we think we want. But the heart, only the heart knows, and the soul. Okay, so this is the leap, and this feels higher dimensional. This feels like the turning point, discomfort, power of self-talk, and appreciation. That's like the do this, try this, play with this energy, and alchemy. And this feels like the leap. So we have how conditional is it for you to reach a place of sanctuary? I'll read you the words on this card. In my inner sanctuary, I connect to peace, inner quietude, and comfort. So what needs to happen for you to retreat into that inner sanctuary, to close the world, to shut that out and go right in? Is that conditional to when I've got time? Is that conditional to when I've done this? Can you hear yourself making excuses, perhaps? Because within is where the answers are. Without tends to be where the questions are. Like in the head, there are only questions. In the heart, there are only answers. When you go in, and it doesn't have to be a meditation. You know, I'm like so many people. I can't actually be doing with the whole ritual of sitting down and tuning in, and it's just not my thing. I'm a drifter. So like when I was at school, I was called a daydreamer, but I wasn't. I was out. I was so far out, and that looked like me staring out the window. I was out. I was building universes. I was dancing on planets, tangoing with spirit. So I was very in. I was very in, even though it looked like I was present in the classroom. I was actually meditating. Okay. So again, bring a new energy to what is meditation. So it doesn't have to be this, lotus position thing. That suits a lot of people beautifully, but it doesn't suit me. I can't do that. So yeah, sanctuary, go within. That's where the peace is. That's where the peace is, in the heart, not in the mind. That's not going within. Oh. I know I've said this before, but it bears repeating. There is not a question you can conceive of that you don't already possess the answer to. So often, a client will ask me a question. I don't know what to do with that, but what do I do with that? And I just stay quiet, and then they give me the answer. And they don't even know they're giving me the answer until I say, "You're aware you've just answered your own question." No, oh Christ. I did, didn't I? No, you did. Are you going to take your own advice? Soul's truth, number 8. I listen to my soul's simple truths and allow my life to unfold naturally. This is flow state. This is surrendering. Surrender. What does that word do to you? Let go. What does that do to you? When you go in and listen, it's amazing what comes out. And when you go in and listen and allow a new energy to flow through you and embody that energy, then that will become part of what you put out into the world. That's like sowing beautiful seeds. Every time you open your mouth, beautiful words come out, beautiful energy comes out because you've taken the time to be with yourself, one-on-one, be with you. 47, 11. 11.2 is the intuitive. When you connect deeply with your inner self, that's when you become a channel for your inner voice. You become the facilitator for what you've brought with you to share with the world. When I open to the deep source of grace, the flow of my life feels effortless and vibrant. It's a very real possibility at the moment to live an effortless life. If that sounds preposterous, look at that. Look at that. So, yeah, we got choices. We got choices. We can keep pulling back to the old 3D way, the patriarchal, linear, competing, never good enough, seeking from a place of lack mentality. We can absolutely do that. That's our prerogative. Or we can be the curious child and bounce ourselves into something completely different. It might be creativity, imagination, dreaming, drawing, painting, writing, acting, anything that's different, something that's different. And this is where you have to surrender to the something that's different. You can't have an expectation that I want to do this because. Just play. The universe will do the rest. Once you create a fertile space for anything to happen, then anything is going to happen. Okay. Is that it? One more thing. May the joy of light be with you always. Beautiful. Okay, take care, people, and I'll see you again when I do.